The next hero for Overwatch though, Space Ranger, has landed and we might finally know who she is. You know what? I don't think it's Jiayi herself. Let's have a look. When Season 11 started a few weeks ago, players had noticed that a blue comet appeared in the sky above the Hollywood, the Blizzard World and the Route 66 maps. A lot of us assumed that it was Space Ranger making her way down to Earth, since she is going to be released in Season 12. And apparently she hails from the Mars colony. There was this little window in which people thought it might be Optimus Prime since the Transformers collab was coming up. But since the mid-season patch we know for sure, it was Space Ranger. See on the Dorado map, in the attacker's spawn, a landing pod has appeared, including parachutes. And the pod has a red variation of the Luchang Interstellar logo on it, with the text Project Red Promise, which points at the red planet, which is Mars. Now up till recently we knew that Luchang Interstellar had a moon base, Horizon Lunar Colony, where both Winston and Hammond grew up, and a space station. This confirms that they also are the company behind the Mars colony, which does not bode well, but I'll get back to that in a minute. It also tells us that Space Ranger is working for Luchang Interstellar. Now, the pod itself is empty, and there's no signs of Space Ranger anywhere. But she did leave behind a picture of what looks like herself and a demon. Yeah, okay, no, it's May. It's a picture of her and May. It turns out that these two know each other. On the picture they are both wearing lab coats, so it seems that at some point they worked or studied together, which did ring a bell for some players. People quickly connected this to a voice line from May that triggers on Lijiang Tower, which is the head office for Luchang Interstellar. This is the voice line.
My friend Jiayi works here. She and I had a lot of fun in grad school. Maybe too much.
Thanks to Proto on Twitter, but ding ding. On top of that, if you listen to the sounds that the pod makes, you might recognize some Morse code. And a few people both on Twitter and Reddit got their old Cub Scouts book out and translated the Morse code. It says J has landed, attempting transmission to RPT, awaiting response J. So at this point everybody's convinced that it is going to be Jiayi. The thing is, in that concept art that they shared at BlizzCon, Space Ranger looks rather young. Well, at least not like someone that is in their 40s, which is supposed to be Jiayi's age. May is in her 30s, but she actually spent 9 years in a cryopod on Antarctica. So she actually is in her 40s. And since they went to school together, I think it is safe to assume that Jiayi is also around that same age, or maybe older. Now, a counter-argument to that is that she probably spent some time in a cryopod on her way to Mars and when she came back. But with the current tech, today, the trip to Mars would take 9 months, one way. So in total, if they don't find a faster way, she would spend about 18 months in a cryopod. That's less than 2 years. So she still is in her 40s. In other words, I think Space Ranger is a little older than we had assumed, or Space Ranger is not Jiayi, but Jiayi's daughter. Dun dun dun. Let's get back to the pod. Why did it land in Dorado specifically? Well, most likely, she didn't have a choice. I mean, we might be able to travel to Mars by 2070, but I don't think it's like taking a bus where you kind of take off and land wherever you want. So yeah, that's where she ended up landing. And that RPT is most likely a division or even a vehicle from Luchang that came to pick her up. Why is she back on Earth? Well, she wanted to see the finals for the Euro Cup. Yeah, I don't know. But if she is not May's friend, but May's friend's daughter, this might be an even more interesting story. She has a picture of her mom and her mom's best friend in that pod. That is starting to sound like a story with a bit of a twist. Her mother could be in trouble, maybe even dead. And Space Ranger came back to look for help. Now, why would I go into something so dramatic? Well, look, Luchang Interstellar does not have the best track record with all of their projects. Horizon Lunar Colony, out of their control because of a guerrilla uprising that got one of their most important scientists killed, Harold Winston, the dad of our Winston. That's actually why our Winston is wearing those glasses. Those are his dad's glasses. But anyways, that went wrong. The space station. Now, look, this has not been confirmed, but I would not be surprised if that was the space station where Sigma had his accident. Because Sigma and Harold were actually friends. So pardon me if I think that the Mars colony might be in trouble, and that Jiayi's daughter is here to get some help from May. Look, I might be wrong. We'll find out soon enough. If they keep this up, we might see a Space Ranger hint on Lijiang Tower soon. Probably not. I'm already very surprised, but also very excited that they did this. They should do this for every hero. It's so much fun. But whatever happens next, it will definitely end up in a reveal that is most likely going to happen right before the test event, which I still expect to happen at the end of July. And I'm certain that it is going to happen because that customization error keeps popping up again, which is an indicator that there's a hero hidden within the game files. Sneaky. I'm just not sure about when it's going to start. In any case, if it turns out to be Jiayi herself and that she has found a very good moisturizer, I don't think that is going to be her name in the game. Why? Well, for one, dumbasses like myself have a really difficult time remembering and pronouncing names like that. You don't want to know how many times I had to listen back to that clip to remember the pronunciation of... Give me a second.
My friend Jiayi worked...
Of Jiayi. Seriously, that's what I've been doing the whole time. And second, and more importantly, it sounds a little too close to Iyari, which would get too confusing in the shoutouts. So we're probably going to get another name in-game. For daughter or for...
My friend Jiayi...
Jiayi. And no, I don't think it's going to be Space Ranger. We'll just have to wait and see. Soon. For now, however, that was it. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. It really helps me out. And a huge thank you to my patrons. I could not make these videos without you guys. You have my eternal gratitude. If you have a few minutes left, maybe check out this video. Click it. But above all, take care of yourself, take care of each other. Bye bye.